All right, yeah. So today is January 30th, 2025, and today we're going to be looking at how to print and how to save in PowerPoint. So printing in PowerPoint is a little bit different than what you would see in Microsoft Word or another program like a Microsoft Excel. It's different because you can use PowerPoint to actually make slides that you print out, maybe multiple slides on one page, and so forth. So we'll be looking at that, and then we're also going to look at the difference between saving your slides and then saving them as or like save as, right? So when you have a different versions of a slide deck. So we'll look at all that stuff here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for you guys and we'll get going. Also, by the way, I just wanted to reshare one more time. Uh, for those who haven't seen it yet, we did get some information today. There's going to be some free online through Zoom financial literacy classes that are going to be conducted through Connectwa. So that's kind of the parent company that we fall under for our digital literacy training. And they have a contractor that's going to be doing financial literacy training. So if you'd like some free financial literacy training, I would highly encourage it. I think it's one of the cornerstones that a lot of people never figure out, and they struggle living paycheck to paycheck, never having money in savings, just always not financially secure. And I think this would be a good investment of time. And they're going to be online, so you don't have to leave your home and you can just do them straight from the house. So I just wanted to reshare that. If you know anyone else that would like to attend that, please feel free to share it with them. Those classes are going to be starting up in the next week or so. So definitely check out the link there if you would be interested in that. All right. So today we're going to be looking at, so I just went ahead and made some basic slides here. I made a slide on computer lab hours, and I just kind of put some information there. And then I made another slide for computer lab results here. And you can see they're pretty basic. I'm going to use a little bit of the designer stuff over here that he came up with. So I'm going to click that one for computer lab rules. For computer lab hours, let's see what it comes up with. Let's do, I don't really like any of those that much. I'll go with this one though. Why not? So there we go. So I've kind of spiced up the slides a little bit. As you guys remember, we can do transitions. So I'm just going to add a transition really quick. So let's do curtains and we're going to make it shorter, like a 2.5 one. Yeah, there we go. And then for this one, I'm going to put some random bars, make that a little longer. For this one, I'm going to do the drape, 2 seconds. And then for this last one, we're going to do shape, and we're going to make it 2 seconds also. So there we go right there. Perfect. Okay, so we've got some transitions in there now. We've added a little bit of color to the slides. So let's start by looking at just how do we print a normal like slide in PowerPoint, just one slide, and we want to print it on one page. So to do that, we always want to start here in the File menu, up here in the top left. And we want to just go ahead and click File. And then we're going to go here. You see there's different things here. We have New, we have Open, Info, Save As. So the difference here is Save is going to save a current presentation you've already saved. Maybe you've made some updates to it and you want to save those new updates, you would hit Save. Save As will take a presentation you've already been working on and you can save it under a different name. Now, why might you do that? You might have different versions of the same PowerPoint slides. You might have a version that you do for teenagers, and then you might have a version that you do for adults, right? So you say, you know, how to do SQL PowerPoint slides for teenagers, and then you save as, and you say how to do SQL PowerPoint slides for adults. And maybe the adult one has a couple different slides. So it's essentially the same presentation, but you have different versions. And so that's where save as can come into hand because you don't have to recreate those slides all over again. You can use the base ones you already have. Just save them as, and then that way it doesn't mess with the old presentation. And so we'll look at that in a little bit, these two options here. But right now we're going to go to print. So let's go here to print. So as you can see, there's some options here, and this is really the main menu where we're going to be working at today, this menu here on the left. When we go to the print option, again, we're under File and then Print. And then right here, so if I just hit print right now, it's going to print all of the slides. How many slides do I have? I have 4, right? Let me see. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let me take that out. So I have 4 slides. So you can see right now set up to do 3 per page. Obviously, page 2 would only have 1. So let's go to the regular setup. So the regular setup is I just have it set to a printer. So this printer, I know that this printer is connected to my computer because it's green. See the little green check mark right there? That's telling me that that computer is ready, or I'm sorry, that printer is ready to go and it's ready to print. So this is where you would select from the list of printers connected to your device. I'm not going to go over how to connect a printer today, but generally speaking, hopefully it's already connected. If not, you know where to reach out to us and find us. Um, you would connect to the printer. It says ready, and then we just go down our settings and make sure that everything is what we want. So do we want to print all slides? If so, yes. If not, you could click here and you could say print current slide. It would just print this one. You can print all slides. You can print a selection, only print the selected slides. So you could here put slide 2 through 3, for instance, and it would only print slides 2 through 3. I'm going to go back to all. How do we want the slides to print? Full page slides is the option that's set right now. Print 1 slide per page. So there's also notes page where you can have 1 slide per page, but then half of the page is left open because maybe you're giving this as a handout and you want to leave space for folks to take notes at the bottom. So that would be the handout one. This one here, notes page, and then you have outline where they can just see the outline. They can essentially see the bullet points within your slides, but they're not getting the slides. So I don't really use that one too much. Let's go ahead and do full page 1 for now. So we're printing all slides, full page. Do we want to print on both sides? For now, I'm just going to print on one side. I'll talk about collate in a second, and then we're going to leave it in color. So I'm going to go ahead and hit print. This is probably going to take a second because it's printing 4 pages in color. And let's just hold tight for a second and see if it comes out the printer. So here's the first page right here. You guys can see on my, I'm going to stop share for a second. So there's the first page right there, right? Printed in color, which is nice. And you can see that they are full page slides, 2, 3, and 4. Right? So we have our slides here, but they printed in all full page. Now, this might be nice if you don't have a large audience and you want to print out your slides for someone so that they have them. Or maybe it's for you as a speaker and you want to have a printout of your slides just in case your computer breaks and you want to remember what to talk about. You can completely do that with this, but I don't normally print full page slides unless it's a very special occasion. Normally, you can print something a little bit smaller. So let's go take a look at some of our options again and see what those are. So here, again, on the File menu, let's go File and Print. So normally what I would do, and also, by the way, you can increase the number of copies here. So you can do 5 copies of this slide deck, right? But if you're doing 4 pages each and you're printing 5 copies, that's going to be 20 pages. So it adds up pretty quick when you're doing full page slides. So what I would suggest is we come here and we look at, so there's 1 slide per handout like that. So these are the handouts. You can do 2 slides for handouts. Not bad. I like that one too. Or my favorite, you can do 3 slides for handouts. Why do I like this one? Because it leaves an area over here for you to take notes to the right of the slide. So imagine you're a teacher and you're going through some slide deck with your students in a college classroom. You print out 3 slides per page. It gives them a little room over here on the right to take notes as you're teaching the material. so that they can follow along and be good to go. So I'm just gonna print slide one. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna print 1 through 3, and let's see what it does. And we're on 3 slides. Yep. So now I am printing slides 1 through 3, but I have 3 slides per page, so it's really just going to be one page. Let me do 2 copies so we can see what it does. So I printed 3 slides per page, and I printed 2 copies. So we're going to get those 3 slides times 2. And there we go. So off the printer, we get our 3 slides on 2 pieces of paper, right? So again, I like this because it's really nice and easy for the person using it. And when you print it out, you'll see that it's easy enough to read the material on the slide. Again, another reason not to have too much information on your slides is because when you're printed out, it's nice and easy to still read, and people don't have to squint to go see it. So that's one of the functions I like is 3 slides per page. You're going to find that that's probably the most useful one when you're in a teaching setting. Okay, let's look at some other things that we have available under the print menu. So this question came up the other day. Someone asked me, what is collate right here, this one. So if you've ever worked in a office environment, you know about collate because it can make your life quite miserable if things aren't collated. Because let's say you had 100 slides, okay? And you wanted to print out 3 presentations. You had 3 people coming, and you wanted each one of them to have a copy of those 100 slides. So collated means it's going to print slide one, slide two, slide three, slide four, all the way through 100 together. And then it's going to start back at slide one and go slide one, slide two, slide three. It's going to print all those. And then it's going to start over one more time because you did 3 copies, and it's going to print slide one, slide two, slide three, and so forth, all the way to 100. And so collating, what that does is it makes it really easy to make packets of slides. What happens sometimes when if you don't collate, let's say you have 100 slides and you don't collate, it's going to print slide one 3 times. It's going to print slide two 3 times. It's going to print slide three 3 times, and so forth and so forth. So it's going to print each slide 3 times in a row. But again, if you want to make like packages of slides, that's going to be very difficult because now you have to break them all up so that you can put them back together in the proper order. So one instance where you might want to not collate is let's say you are teaching a class and slide one is a question and slide two is the answer. Maybe you want to give all the students slide one first. So you have 10 students. So you want to uncollate. So it prints 10 of slide one and then 10 of slide two. So let's take a look at it really quick. I'm going to go here and print. So I'm going to do full page slides, and I'm going to collate, but I'm only going to do slides 1 through 2 just to save printer space. And then I am going to go ahead and actually I'm going to go 2 copies. Okay, 2 copies, pages 1 through 2. Okay, here we go. So I printed 2 copies of pages 1 through 2. So we'll wait for that to come off, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, perfect. So because we collated, notice again that we have slide one in the front and then slide two in the back. And then the next packet is again slide one and then slide two. So that's collated. So I want to show you now uncollated. So if I do the same print job, So we're going to do the same print job, print, but this time we're going to do uncollated. See here it says 111, 222, 333. So same print job. And this time, instead of getting slide one and then slide two, we're going to get slide one, and then slide two, slide two. Just want you to see the difference there because this is very important. This is very important if you're working, especially on large projects like printing out a pamphlet or something that has maybe more than 10 pages. This can get quite frustrating. So see now, it printed two of slide one, and then it printed two of slide two. So that's uncollated. Very important to know that. Okay, let's see here. All right, so again, we can come over here to File. And let's look at some more of our options. Let's see. So again, we got two copies. We talked about printing all slides, printing a selection or custom range, or printing the current slide. We talked about the different formats right here. Notice you can also print, 9 slides on a page. So let me get rid of this where I say only 1 through 2. So this one has all 4 because I don't have 9 slides, but I could do a 4 like this where you get 4 slides per page. So there's a lot of options here. I'm going to go back to collated. Now, what is our orientation of this page? Anybody? Are we oriented in portrait mode or landscape? And how do we know?
Mm, it's a portrait.
Yes, exactly. So you could change that if you potentially wanted to go to landscape. We can go landscape. You can see that your slides have a little bit more room. So going landscape's not a bad decision if you want your people attending your presentation to see your slides a little bit better. And then lastly here, you can go from color to grayscale or to pure black and white. Pure black and white just gets rid of some of the background colors like you'll see over here, got rid of the background color. Where if we went with grayscale, you can see a little bit of a gray thing here. And this is actually doesn't look good. So in this case, I would probably just go with black and white like that, right? And so that's there. And you can also edit the header and footer. So it currently has the page number here at the bottom right. And that's because we checked this. So if we uncheck that and hit apply, let's see. Oh, okay. Yeah, right here it has the slide number, slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4. Let's come here. And we could have a header or footer that says, Mission Africa 1, and we could include the date or something like that. So here you can see that up here in the top right, it added the date and it added something about Mission Africa down here in the bottom left. We'll take a look at printer properties really quick. Let's see. Normally we would be printing in paper size would be letter, right? But sometimes there's legal. Anyone know what legal would be used for? Legal paper? Why might we use legal paper? We might use legal paper for like real estate documents. Real estate documents tend to come in legal size. So they're a little bit longer in portrait mode. They're 14 inches long instead of 11 inches long. So that's the only thing we might change there. And sometimes I'll change the paper quality. If, for instance, if I'm maybe printing on some kind of a high gloss paper, or if I'm printing photos, so heavy gloss right here, or even the matte one, these are normally used for photos. And you can buy that paper at Office Depot and so forth if you want your printout to look a little bit nicer. There's also stock paper. I try to print the certificates on those, the ones that we are doing in class. And so that's also is a little bit of a, so you can see, where is it here? Color, pre-punch, printed, heavy envelope, labels. Okay, yeah, they got a bunch of different choices in here. Some mid-weight stuff. So that's in there. And then of course you can scale it. You could add a watermark. So what is a watermark? A watermark goes into the background. Let me see if this adds it here. So a watermark, I didn't add it here, but a watermark is like something that goes into the background of your slide. You guys have seen like where it looks like it's been stamped confidential or secret or, draft, something like that. So that's what a watermark does for you. Okay. And then the last thing I want to talk about here in this section is how to print double-sided. Okay. So if we print double-sided, let's say we did go with full page again. And we did decide to print full side or two-sided rather, print on both sides. So it says, what angle do you want to flip it on? So if you flip on the long edge, that would be this edge. So I'll turn my camera back on. So if you flip on the long edge, that would be this edge. That means that you're reading like this, right? So if it's landscape and you flip on the long edge, then that's assuming that if you want to print double-sided, that it's going to flip the page on the long edge and then print upside down, right? Because this is here, now this is upside down. So if you're printing normal slides though, and they're this way, and you flip on the long edge, is it then just flipping like a book, right? So you see that? So if this is the book, center of the book, and it turns and then there's writing here. This is the top of the page, and this still is the top of the page on the back. Okay, so if we go with, let's do one of each. So I'm going to print two-sided, print on both sides, long edge. So I'm going to do one of those. And then I'm going to do another print job. And on this one, I'm going to print on both sides. But on this one, I'm doing to flip pages on the short edge right here. I'm just going to print pages 1 through 2 just to save a little ink. Okay. My printer is cleaning itself, apparently. I'll give it a second. Well, while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and transition to saving. So when you're saving your presentation, so this presentation right now doesn't have a name, right? How do we know that? Because it says presentation one up here in the corner. So that's telling me that I opened this presentation, I made some slides, but I have not saved it yet. 1 second. I got to add a little paper to my printer. Okay. All right. So when we come over here and we go to save, because I haven't saved this file, it's going to ask me where do I want to save it. So this is the location right here at the top where you see this folder. And then it asks me for a name. So that's the two things you always have to do when you save a file. You have to give it a location of where you want to save it, and you have to give it a name. So I'm going to click here for OneDrive Personal, and then I'm going to select over here on the left, I'm going to do desktop. So I'm just going to save it to my desktop, and we're going to call it Computer Lab Hours. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And now we can see that the name changed to Computer Lab Hours here. So let's say I wanted to save as, let's do save as now. So save a copy, same as save as, by the way. And now I can do copy lab hours version 2. And I'm going to save that. And now we should have 2 copies of that PowerPoint, and I'm going to bring them over here. So you can see we have Computer Lab Hours version 2, and then we have Computer Lab Hours. So again, I could save this as many times as I want, but saving it is only going to save it as whatever the last one was saved. So if I saved right now, it's going to save as computer lab hours version 2. If I do save a copy, I can even go to version 3, save. Notice now, because the most recent one I did was version 3, now I'm working on version 3. So if I wanted to go back to version 2, I'd have to close out 3, go find number 2, this one, and then reopen number 2. Okay. All right, let's see. Next thing and last thing I want to show you today is printing to a PDF. Now, there's a lot of benefits to printing of a PDF. Has anyone here on the call ever dealt with a PDF before? And what are the advantages of using a PDF? What do you guys think are the advantages of using a PDF? Well, first of all, maybe we should talk about what a PDF is then. So a PDF is this here. Share this. So this is a PDF here, and you can see that it looks like a document, but I can't like change any words. It's locked down. There's not a lot I can do here. It's not like Microsoft Word where I can change all of this and change the colors. It's pretty locked down. So a couple benefits of using a PDF. So when you save something as a PDF, it's nice because it also is easy for others to open. So if you email it, pretty much anybody can open it. You can open it in Google Chrome. You can open it on your phone. You can open it on a tablet. If you send someone PowerPoint slides, they have to actually have PowerPoint. And PowerPoint is a paid program. So if they haven't paid for PowerPoint slash Microsoft Office, they aren't going to be able to open your PowerPoint slides. And so PDF is a nice way to share your slides without making a big deal about everyone needs to have PowerPoint. So it's very easy to share them. Also, PDFs are small in content. So let's take a look. I'm gonna go save. So this presentation right now, oh, let me reshare my screen. So this presentation right now is, let's go to properties, is 2.209 kilobytes. So let's see what it does when I save it as a PDF. And what was it called? Lab hours 2, desktop, move that. And where did it go? There it is. Okay, so the PowerPoint is, again, 209 kilobytes. And let's see what the PDF is. So it's 379 in this case. It's actually a little bit bigger. But what I find is when you start adding photos and things, PowerPoint gets pretty big and heavy. PDF will stay pretty small. So again, it's easier to email. Another advantage of using PDF is it is locked down, so people can't change your information. If I send someone my slides, they can come in here right now and start changing stuff like this. They can get rid of all of this. And if you want them to do that, that's completely fine. But if you don't want them to do that, then you want to be careful about sending people your slides because they can edit them. Maybe you worked really hard on something and you put your name on it and you're very proud of it, and then you send your slides to someone. They could easily take your name off, put their name on it, and call it theirs. Uh, Doing it and sending them a PDF is going to help give you some, not all, some protection from someone taking your work. Okay. All right. So again, PDFs are really, really flexible. Just opens right up. Really easy. So let's take a look at how we did that again. Just deleting it. All right, I'm gonna go back and open up lab hours. So we're back in lab hours. So if you want to now save something as a PDF, it's actually really interesting. You actually print it as a PDF. What I like about printing as a PDF is it has all the options like you're going to do a regular print, but instead of selecting a printer, like this one here is my home one, instead of selecting a printer in the drop-down menu for your printer, you select Microsoft Print to PDF right here. And then everything else is the same. So again, if you wanted to do uh, 3 slides per page, give them somewhere to take notes, we can actually change it back to portrait mode. So we have our slides, we have that, we got it in color, it's collated. So now I can say, okay, yeah, let's print this. And you go to print, but it brings up a save menu. So let's go ahead and do lab hours. I'll call it 3. Save. And it looks like nothing happens, but it did save a file. And that file, I'm just going to bring it on over. Where did it go? It always goes on my desktop, but I have a lot of stuff on my desktop. Here it is. So lab hours 3. We'll see how big it is. 462 kilobytes. Okay, so there's lab hours 3. We saved it as a PDF. So again, once you get it here, then it's very easy to, let's say I wanted to send an email and I come here and I say, okay, I'm going to send it to Erica and I'm going to say, here's the slides in PDF. And now I can just come here to attach, find the slides on my desktop, computer. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Lab hours 3. There it is right there. Right. Save today at 6:37. Hit open. You see it's really small, and then I could just send it to her. And that's a really easy way to just send your slides without having to make sure, again, I don't have to check and say, hey, Erica, do you have PowerPoint? I want to send you my PowerPoint slides. No, you can just send it as a PDF. And also they can't change it. So that's a big benefit of that. All right. Any questions on what we've covered so far? I have one more thing I want to show you. It's not really part of this lesson. It's more showing you guys a new AI tool that's now available in Microsoft. All right, no questions. Who here has heard of Copilot? Anyone heard of Copilot? It is a new Microsoft program that helps with creating content. Let me go share my screen again. So this happened to me the other day. So there I was the other day. I was just about to go teach a class. It was Friday night last week, and I knew I was going to teach a SQL class, which is like a coding language. And I wanted to teach it to teenagers at Mission Africa at our Youth and Tech program that we have every last Saturday. Well, typically it's the last Saturday. We did it this last Saturday. And I had to come up with some slides. I needed to make some slides on like how does SQL work, what is SQL, and what's some of the basic coding to teach these kids about SQL, which is like a real database that people are using in today's marketplace. So I sat down and I'll show you what I did. I hit blank presentation. And as we know, it comes here to this blank thing and it says, okay, great. You go ahead and start making your presentation. You have a clean mat. But then I saw this thing up here that said, create a presentation about, or it said, create a presentation from a file. And I was like, what is that thing? And I decided to check it out. It's Copilot. So as you can see, there's a new little button here in the ribbon called Copilot. This is on all Microsoft products. So it's on Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and others. So I just said create a presentation about. I was kind of curious, like let's see how this thing works. And let's see here. Once you describe your presentation you'd like to create, and then it says review Copilot suggestions. And then I see create. See if I can get this to go. Create. Can you create a presentation to teach um, the importance of SQL, what it is, and its basic syntax to teenagers in a 1 hour presentation. So I did that, right? So it says here I can put in 2,000 characters. So I wrote 162 letters here, and I'm just going to hit enter and let's see what happens. Generate slides. Don't let this discourage you from knowing PowerPoint, by the way. It's never going to be perfect, but it is going to generate something. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. It's generating all the slides to give me a 1 hour presentation on a topic that I chose. I told it the audience and I told it how long I wanted it to be, and it's creating the slides for me. Boom. And there you go. And it created a 22-page slide presentation. Let's go through it. Let's see what we think. Understanding SQL, the basics and its importance. Learn the fundamentals of database management. The agenda. Introduction to SQL, importance of SQL, basic syntax and hands-on. Look at the animation that it added, the transitions. Right here, this first slide is what is SQL. It talks a little bit about it, the history and development of it, why learn SQL, so the importance of it, industries and applications using SQL, finance industry, healthcare, technology, and e-commerce, career opportunities, and then it gets into some of the basic concepts of like how it actually works, right? Overview of the data types, integers, string, data, dates and Boolean characters, um, and then some basic syntax. Yep, the select statement, insert statement, maintaining integrity, etc. I thought this was really cool. Now, of course, it wasn't exactly how I would have done it, but it gave me an 80% solution. So once it did that for me, I just kind of took this, I added some stuff. Maybe I changed a few photos, like maybe I didn't like this girl right here. And I said, you know what, right click, go to change photo, stock image. And maybe I put in something like, let's see what comes up here. Um, data. See, maybe I decided I want that one instead. Boom. Right? So just little stuff like that, right? Makes it really easy. So I just wanted to show you guys Copilot. I thought that was really sweet. You can start to explore that if you have Microsoft Office. You'll notice the next time you open up Microsoft Office, you should see something from Copilot in there. And Copilot is the new AI, the artificial intelligence that's built to help people do things. I'll show you one more example of it. I did this the other day. New blank document. Let's say someone wants you to write them a letter of recommendation. Let's see, Alt I to draft with Copilot. Let's try that. Alt I. Describe what you would like to write, including notes or an outline, and Copilot can generate a draft and help you get started. So let's say, and again, we're in Microsoft Word now. Let's say I want to I'd like to write a letter of recommendation for Io. Uh, he is a superb worker, always available, available to help others and does it with a great attitude. I'd recommend him for a operations manager or supervisor position with your organization. So I'm just kind of saying, like, I want to write a letter of recommendation. I don't really know how to write one. Maybe I haven't done it in a while. So I give the Copilot a little bit of information and let's see what it comes up with. And let's say make it less formal, because maybe I didn't like how formal it was. To whom it may concern, I'm happy to recommend IO for the position of operations management or supervisor at your organization. I've had the pleasure of working with IO and can confidently say that he's an outstanding worker with dedication, expertise, and a positive attitude that makes him a valuable team member. IO always demonstrates a strong work ethic and a commitment to excellence. He's always there to help others, no matter what the task, and his willingness to go above and beyond is truly impressive. His cooperative spirit and genuine desire to support his colleagues have earned him respect and admiration from everyone he works with, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it wrote a one-page letter of recommendation, and I literally took less than a minute to tell it what I wanted to talk about. So I don't know if you guys are impressed, but I am, and I'm excited about generative AI because it's just going to make all of our lives easier. Someone asked in class the other day, they said, well, do you think that Gen AI is just going to take all of our jobs? And I was like, no, it's just going to make you more productive at your job. So where maybe you are only able to write, because I have to write evaluations at work of my peers. We do like peer evaluations. And it sometimes takes me 30 minutes to an hour to kind of think of all the right wording and all the things that they've done and kind of how do I want to articulate it. But now Gen AI, I can just tell it a little bit about the person and it can write up a paragraph pretty quickly that essentially summarizes my thoughts there. And it does it really well. So I just wanted to share that that's kind of the future of where generating content is going. It's called generative AI because it can generate information using artificial intelligence, and it works pretty good. And the more we use it, the actually better it gets. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Any questions on that?